Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my social work Q&A. This portion is dedicated to questions and my answers about travel social work. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Make sure you like this video and follow me on my other platforms. So I'm super active or whatever on Instagram, so make sure you follow me there. And also TikTok. I post most of my social work content there. So let's go ahead and get into the video. First question. At what point in life would you stop traveling for work? I would stop traveling for work when I feel like I want to settle down. Whether it's because I'm in a committed relationship and maybe I want to start a family, or I'm just tired of it and I want to lay roots somewhere and I found a place where I want to lay roots. Whether it's going back home to Seattle or a new city. I want to give it at least like 3 or 4 more years. So before I'm 35, I think it's about time for me to like stop traveling like full time. How can I become a travel social worker? I have many videos about this on my channel, but simply make sure you have at least 1 year of experience. You need to have your MSW. You should definitely be licensed. I was just talking to a new recruiter the other day. She told me there's more social workers than there are social work contracts available, but what sets me and other social workers apart is being licensed. So make sure you at least have the graduate level license, so your master's level. But of course, if you have your LCSW, you are very marketable, and LCSWs typically make, I see really high paying contracts for LCSWs. So yeah, have all the experience, have those credentials, but then what you do is you find an agency and you apply. There's also like a lot of travel Facebook groups, and recruiters are in there posting jobs, but please, I beg of you, do not apply unless you have the necessary experience. Like, of course, yes, you can get a contract, but it's going to be hell for you, and you could be let go, or you're just going to be really stressed out the entire time. So do yourself a favor, do the patients a favor, or the clients, whoever you're working with, and have experience before you start traveling. Negotiating contracts, handling burnout. So I talked about handling burnout in my last Q&A video, but I think traveling is the perfect way for me, in my opinion, to manage burnout, because if I don't want to work, I don't have to. So I like that flexibility. And it's also like, if you don't like where you're working, you don't have to work there. When your 13 weeks are up, you're out of there. You don't have to stay. As far as negotiating contracts, this is very new for me because I'm still fairly new to it. So I've been traveling for over 1.5 years now, or about 1.5 years now. And I think in my experience, this is what I've done. I'll talk about that in my experience. So I was offered a contract, or my recruiter showed me a contract, and I saw that contract being offered at a higher rate somewhere else. And so I said, hey, they're offering this much for that contract. Can I be paid that much? And so I believe they matched it, or they paid me fairly similar, or maybe like a little bit less. But that's a great way, is to say, hey, I'm getting offered this. Can you match that? Y'all, my camera died while I was recording, and y'all think creating content is easy. Anyway, never be scared to ask for more money. If you see the contract that you're applying for being offered higher elsewhere, just ask your recruiter if they can match that. But also, like, you could just ask for more money for like maybe a car, or be like, well, the area, can you maximize more per diem? You can be like, well, I have this much experience and I've been with this specific agency for this amount of time. Can you give me more money? So just find ways in which you can sell yourself as deserving of more money, and ask for it. Just don't be afraid to ask. How did you get into travel social work? So I pretty much just fell into it. I learned about it in 2020. I met a travel social worker at one of my hospital jobs. It was the first time I ever heard of it. She told me the agency she was with and all about it, and that's what piqued my interest. Initially, I was going to pursue it after I got my LCSW. But then, towards the end of 2020, I wanted to relocate. And so I was thinking of ways to relocate. And then one way is to get a contract job in a state that I wanted to move to. Initially, I wanted to move to Georgia, there weren't any contracts in Georgia, but there were some in DC. So I got a contract in DC, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in relocating here permanently. Why not go see if I can actually make this job permanent, or just experience the area for some time or whatever. So that's how I kind of like fell into it. And then once I started working at my first contracts, I realized that I actually like the concept of traveling. I was like, I actually want to do this. Like, I don't want to just stay here. I want to keep traveling. I like the money, I like the flexibility, etc. Like, I like the concept of traveling. So that's how I got into it. I love it. I love doing travel social work. I love the money. I love the flexibility. There's plenty of downsides to it. I have a whole video on the pros and cons, so I won't get too much into it, but I definitely love it, and I literally just fell into it. I was not intentional about traveling at all. How do you keep a man while traveling? Girl, I don't know. Girl, when do I have a man? I'm always single. I have plenty of coworkers who are in relationships. So what I see is that they frequently like go visit them, or their partner will come visit them while they're on contracts, or meet somewhere. You can definitely meet your partner somewhere, or even like if I would imagine like if they work remote, they can come with you on contract. Like they can travel with you. That would be really dope. Hopefully, in my future relationship, he works remote and he can travel with me. That would be so cool. But I feel like there's definitely a way to make it work. Like, of course, long distance relationships can be tough, but if you guys are both willing to put in the work to make it work while you're away for some time, then it can definitely work. How do you find travel jobs? Are there agencies that specialize in travel jobs? Yes, that's what the agencies specialize in. They specialize in travel jobs. How do you find them? So I use travel Facebook groups. There's a lot of recruiters that post on there. You can also put that you're a traveler on LinkedIn, and recruiters will slide in your DMs that way. So that's how I find travel agencies. So LinkedIn, Facebook groups, and then networking. So some agencies, because I think I have a question about that here, like what agencies are available. So AMN, so there's Med Travelers, there's Rev Cycle, there's GHR Rev Cycle, there's Aya, so many. Those are just the ones off the top of my head. There's Melio Case Management, and the ones that more so specialize in social work, or I would say case management, not social work, solely social work, would be the Rev Cycle. So AMN Rev Cycle, GHR Rev Cycle, Melio Case Management, those specialize in case management jobs, so discharge planning, but they might have like social work roles as well. Maxim is another one that has quite a few social work jobs all the time, like traditional, like clinical social work jobs, but I find that they usually place you like in psychiatric hospitals or jails. They do have placements in hospitals as well. But there's a lot of agencies out there. Not all of them specialize in social work or case management. So I definitely recommend finding an agency that specializes in social work or case management. But you can definitely work with any agency. Your recruiter will probably just not know anything about social work, so you're going to have to constantly educate them about licensure. Is there a need for travel social work jobs year-round? Yes. Of course, there's going to be times where there's less jobs. I believe the winter, or maybe the summer is the winter it's a slower time. So when I was looking for my current contract, it was like February, March, and there was not a lot of opportunities. It took me a while to secure this contract. And they were saying it's just a slow time within the market, but it will pick back up. So there are times when the market just fluctuates based on need. What degree is needed to be a travel social worker? You need to have an MSW. Can you travel as a BSW? Maybe, but it's not consistent. You need to have an MSW, and you should have at least your LMSW to travel. Can you travel with just your MSW? Yes. Are you going to have a lot of opportunities? No. So I would definitely suggest having your MSW and being licensed to travel. How long have you gone in between assignments? 2 weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks. That's the longest I've gone. I definitely want to take like next year, like take the whole summer off, or take like some extended period of time off. What travel agencies have the best opportunities for social workers, experience, and money? Kind of touched on this earlier. So GHR, Melio, I'm just now starting to talk with AMN Ref Cycle. So they all specialize in case management, not necessarily social work. Maxim has a lot of opportunities for social workers. So in applying to these positions, you're going to want to ask the recruiters what experience they have with working with social workers. It's not that even if they're not experienced that they can't do a good job of placing you. They're just not going to know anything about licensure, and they're not going to know what questions to ask the job itself for you, right? So it is better to work with ones that specialize in social work or have a department catered to social workers or case managers. But there's definitely more general ones that service more so like healthcare workers, like nurses or techs, or pharmacy techs, whatever. There's more of those than there are ones, in my experience, that specialize in social work or case management. What are some non-hospital based employment opportunities for travel social work? So I commonly see positions in schools. I see a lot of those with AMN Med Travelers. So you can, if you're interested in working in school, definitely look with them. I think Aya also has some school opportunities as well, but keep in mind that typically these contracts are going to be for the whole school year, or at least a good portion of the school year. I also see jobs in prisons or jails or psychiatric hospitals. I've seen a posting like helping children or youth like at the border between Mexico and Texas. I've seen a position like that. When social workers in hospitals I guess this is a hospital one, but it's a specialized one. So if they go on strike, there's contracts for that. So yeah, those are the ones I commonly see. So schools, prisons, jails, psychiatric hospitals, hospice agencies, skilled nursing facilities, home health. So those are the ones I commonly see. And then there's just like special like project based ones too. But I do think that the hospital based ones are more common. But anyways, that's it. We have reached the end of the Q&A. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will try my best to come back and respond. Sometimes I don't get any alert that I have any questions. So the best way to ask me questions is to slide in my DM on Instagram and ask me there. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I post a lot of social work content on TikTok especially. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video, and also share it with someone that you feel like will benefit from it. I swear I'm going to try to be more consistent. I'm not going to take this long of a hiatus again. Thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all next time.